What's happening, podcasters? My name is Sebastian Rusk, and I help marketers and entrepreneurs just like you launch successful podcasts. In this video, I'm actually going to break down the definition of what a podcast is. Might seem elementary to some, but to most, people have absolutely no idea what a podcast is. So, let's get started. So, when speaking of definition, Google would define a podcast as a digital audio file being uploaded to the internet that's able to be shared for people to listen to. It usually is broken down into a series, into an interview series, etc. Now, way back when, it used to be called audio blogging. That's before podcast even existed. And the goal was to be able to digitally archive and record blogging, writing, poems, series, etc. Well, now look at us. That's right. They used to call podcasting audio blogging back in the 1980s, before podcasts were even podcasts. Well, with the onset of technology and high-speed internet and the internet in general, audio blogging was rebranded in 2004 as a podcast. Still the same type of format, taking an audio file, recording something on that audio file, and then sharing it. Now, with the internet coming and the ability to be able to record something while on the internet changed the ball game forever. Now, this was way back in 2004. You're currently watching this video right now in 2019. We're talking 15 years here of podcasting still becoming something of the future, if you will. In fact, only around 52 million Americans have actually listened to a podcast or are familiar with a podcast. Now, that's 52 million Americans 12 and older. So the word is being spread about what a podcast is, but I get a lot of feedback and people say, hey, I saw your podcast on YouTube the other day. It was awesome. And I don't have the heart to tell them, well, that actually wasn't my podcast. That was actually a video that I uploaded to YouTube. What you're listening to in your car or in your headphones would be a podcast. People tend to confuse the two just because podcasting is so brand new. Wink, wink. Brand new. Started in the 1980s, became popular in 2004 for a little bit, and then really became popular when the podcast Serial became popular, which documented a crime series in which the individual was in jail, and the case ended up getting overturned based on the facts that were unpacked throughout that podcast. That was a few years back, but that's when people started to say, hey, I really like podcasts a lot. Well, people really like podcasts a lot because it is a non-friction piece of content. It's not like a video where if I send you a video like this one, you feel inclined. Your brain says, hey, I've got to stop and actually look at the screen and watch what he's saying. Not true at all, but most of us think, hey, if it's a video, I need to stop and actually watch the video. A podcast, on the other hand, I could send you a link to my most recent episode. You can press play while at your office, and if you consume between 75 and 78% of that content, you're considering it a winner, and the fact that your brain registered as, hey, I actually listened to that episode. So it's funny how our minds work and how we digest different pieces of content, but just like the radio, we've always looked to that for news and information and music and entertainment. We're now doing the same basic thing, but with podcasts and having them tailored to what our actual interest and needs are pertaining to content. Well, I hope that breaks down in a little bit more detail precisely what a podcast is. Hey, maybe you pulled up this video and you had no idea what a podcast is, and now you do. Winning. Maybe you already knew what a podcast was. You just wanted a little bit more information, and it did that for you too. Either way, I hope you're leaving this video with exactly what you showed up for, which is to learn something new. Hey, if you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. This way you get updates on future videos as they become available. And if you feel so inclined, please do like and comment below. I sure do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing all you rock stars next time.